I love it. All right. Hey, so this is my buddy Adam Pakes. I say buddy, probably one of my people that I look up to mentor wise, business, father, lifestyle. Met him, his brother, and another guy that we'll have on the episodes at some other point. A few years back now, been a few years back.
Yeah.
A lot has transpired. You guys are absolutely just on fire. Like I said earlier, I keep up with it. I'm following it, watching, loving every bit of it. So this is my buddy Adam Pakes. Again, we're gonna get the emojis out
Yeah.
there. I'm gonna do something
Thank you.
like here.
Sweet.
It's gonna explode the fireworks. I got to take that thing off. It gets on my nerves. So me and Adam just having a little conversation before, just kind of prepping on the dad situation and where dads are at. But Adam, I know that you guys are, I want you to give a little bit about where you're at, what you're doing, what you guys are involved in, and just kind of your outlook on life and as a dad, where that comes from and where you're taking you and your family.
Okay. So my brother and I have been building storage for the last 9 years, and we've worked hard. It simply put, not only in the sense on the business, but making sure, more importantly, that our spouses and our kids are involved. Number one. Number two, that they're bought in to what dad's doing, and making sure that we're trying to bring the whole family up as I'm doing my thing or Pete's doing his thing. And it's hard. Like, make no bones about it. Whoever's listening to this, shit's hard. Okay. And it becomes easier once there are some habits that I personally, I'll just speak to myself. I had to form some real deep habits, not only to be a better husband, a better boss, most importantly, a better dad, because I found myself often always feeling so always like this, uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. And what's important to me not isn't necessarily what's important to my kids or my wife.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I've had to learn to put myself back into their shoes. I have a 14-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, I have a 14-year-old girl, 12-year-old son, and then a 6-year-old daughter. My 6-year-old daughter has been the biggest blessing, but she's also taught us a lot. She's got epilepsy. We found that out a year and a half ago. And that was tough. Now, we have some people that come up to and say, we don't know how you guys do it, and that's so great, and you guys are so amazing. It's like, well, I mean, there are a lot of parents that deal with a lot more tragic things with their children, and they do it. And it's just what it is. You can't trade that experience in and say, I'll take another one. You
Right.
just handle your shit, right?
Right.
And so faith becomes a huge factor for us. Because as much as I want to have the answers, or my wife's on the internet trying to research what's the best medication cocktail for her, it comes down to sometimes letting go and just praying.
Wow.
Simply put. Now, from my perspective on what I'm doing is I believe that I've been given a certain talent, whether it's an insatiable amount of risk tolerance that I have to take risk and bet on myself or my team and or my team. I I don't want to leave knowing I could have done more. I've
Right.
done that before. I've played small. I know how it makes me feel. And I know how playing big makes me feel. And one of the things that I would tell people that it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
Okay. Let that soak in for a second because I've had to learn that. That's part of life. And as a dad, Lee, when we met, I was a little confused as to who I was, what my purpose was. I felt like I had it all, and I felt like I should have been grateful for more for what I had,
Right. Sure.
but I wasn't. There was some emptiness in there, and I don't know if that was just being in my early 40s, if that's just something that guys go through, possibly is. It was for me, and my biggest the thing that helped me the most was just to actually fucking communicate. Okay. There's no heroic effort in keeping that shit in. Whatever that shit is for me, it's like I felt like the lying by omission was just so bad
Right.
that I created a story in my head that like I'd say, "Hey, what's going on?" And in my back of my head, if people said if they'd only fucking knew how fucked up I was right now, or how anxious I was or worried, um, they probably wouldn't like be enjoying the conversation.
Correct.
And then I had to learn. I got big into personal development. That's how we met through
Right.
Ronnie. And um, what really started to change my life is when I got a spiritual coach. So I come from the Greek Orthodox faith. So we have priests in our church, and there was a priest that came to our church one day, and he had some family and marriage counseling, secular type of training and degrees, and he just said something that kind of clicked in my head, and I'm like, I need to talk to that guy.
Right.
Well, I came at him from a more like, hey, I want you to coach me on the spiritual side so that my business life and my spiritual life are running in tandem with each other versus it doing this and
Right.
me going one way or the other. And he chuckled and he goes, okay. I go, but I got to pay you because if I don't pay you, I'm not going to take it serious. He's like, okay, just, donate it to the church. That's fine. And as I worked with him and I really started to understand the beauty of how we were designed to struggle. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I think what's happened is we've been sold a bill of shit for so many years in our life where we have this technique or fuck, how many I watch a game show, okay,
Right.
and see how many commercials are on the game show network for fucking depression.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. And I was watching, and so that was a side note, but there's just it's okay to not be on top of the world. There's so many lessons that I've learned just kind of just going, man, I just feel like there's something in it more. And so I had to get out of my own self and try to fix myself and really focus more on others. So I started at home with my kids. Then I moved that onto my business and focused on my people. And I'm going to fast forward and paraphrase this, but over the last 2 years, I find my biggest joys in life is when I'm serving others,
Sure.
creating a big enough bubble that others in it, A, there can be more people in the bubble,
Mhm.
and B, they're elevating, whether they're spiritually, uh, economically, whatever it is that I'm creating this bigger network of people to thrive in. And when I've started to do that, it didn't become work or a burden.
Sure.
But to make sure that I was, running on all cylinders, I have to wake up at 4 in the morning and I have to go work out at 5. But in order for me to work out at 5, I need to get up at 4 because it takes me about 40 minutes to go through my prayers.
Right.
And that's just a non-negotiable. So I start my day off with that. I think about the value of my life that I've been given and how lucky I am and all of the blessings that I have in my life. Then I go work out. Then I come home. Then I get ready for work. Some days I take my kids to school, and some days my wife's off work. She's a nurse and she takes them. But then I'm constantly talking about faith with my kids. My oldest daughter, she's 14, not interested. And I get it. I probably wasn't either. Like half that stuff goes over her head. But one of the things that I come to learn is that we, how did he say it? We should be talking less to our kids about God, and we should be talking to God more about our kids.
I like that. No, I
Okay.
like that.
So that's one of the biggest takeaways that I've learned through this whole thing is I don't want to impress upon, I do, but it's a very delicate thing, especially with faith and religions, is that my kids sometimes just don't understand. And I'm 45 and I'm thinking, you need to do this, this.
Right.
I need to talk more to God about my kids and just ask Him to bless them. And once I started to kind of integrate being more in line with my faith, everything seemed to fall into place better because I knew that my job was to wake up, give thanks, take the day as it came,
Mm,
and apply as much effort as I could with just trying to love everybody along the way. Now, that's simple, but
sure.
fucking not easy. Okay? But that's how I try to approach my day every day. I have my bad days. I think anybody has their bad days, but yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's how I try to approach it because things are going fast. My kids are getting older. My business is growing bigger. It's requiring more of my time, more and more millions of dollars that I need every single day because everybody on my team's doing their job. And how do I do it all? I talk about it. I talk about it with my wife. Your wives will understand. Just give them a chance to listen. Okay. There's a lot of wisdoms in our wives that we probably don't know. My wife will ask good questions and then she asks better questions and then she helps me self-discover things and just knowing that she is willing to listen, number one, and two, actually say some really logical, simple things. I'm like, I'm just overcomplicating it. And so
Right.
she's trying to raise all the boats in the harbor together by communicating exactly what I'm trying to do. My mission, I'm trying to give as much money as way as I possibly can. So therefore, I got to create this ecosystem as big as I possibly can.
Right. Right. No,
You
listen, man, that's encompassing everything that I think we could have touched on that I would even asked. I even had like a little set of questions. I've got my monitor, my big 43-inch here. My laptop's here. I got all
sorry,
the
man.
questions. No, listen, that's beautiful because I think, that was kind of what we were talking about leading into the recording of it is that, understanding what we're designed for. You nailed that on the head. Yeah, we're not designed to walk through it on primrose and rose petals and everything's just going to be great. You're gonna have the struggle. The struggle endures growth, right? It
Mhm.
just promotes growth rather. And I think that's a big thing. And that's why I want to do this for the dads that are going to be listening to it is understanding, hey, listen, we're all in it together. Like we're all dads, we're trying to figure it out. I have a 14-and-a-half-year-old daughter, I have a 9-year-old daughter, so I get it. And I love what you said about talking less to them about it, but talking more to God about them. That's huge. That's huge. And I don't think that could be overemphasized in any way possible. I love the non-negotiables, which is a huge thing. The discipline that goes behind that, because as a businessman, things can get in the way real quick if you let them. Everything else is processing through the brain because your brain's like my brain, like any other business brain. It doesn't stop. We go to bed, we're like, okay, I'm gonna give a good night's sleep. Boom, that's when the brain turns on. Oh, did you do this? We think about this. Well, I could do this, and it's just like I'm gonna lay here and I'm gonna try to sleep, but my brain's gonna keep. So yeah, I mean, Adam, that was beautiful.
Here's what I would
Beautiful.
say for anybody who's a dad that feels like they have more, but they don't know where to start. Okay.
Right.
Activity is the key to anything.
Mm,
It doesn't have to be the right activity, but this is what I ask myself. If I don't do what I know I'm supposed to do, is the pain that I'm going to endure working out greater than the pain that I'm going to feel afterwards by not working out? That's just an example. So, whatever it is
right.
that I'm wanting to negotiate in my head to avoid, knowing yourself well enough to know how that's going to make you feel, just
Right.
fucking do it.
Right.
Whatever it is, fucking do it because that's what you were designed to do. Take care of your shit as a fucking man and handle it and stop negotiating with yourself, whether it's sticking that fucking cheeseburger in your mouth because it fucking tastes really fucking good or going, I'll eat the rice cake instead. Because it's after a certain amount of times you do that, it forms a habit. But when you keep selling yourself out every day, that's how dudes get into this state of despondency is they just keep selling themselves short, then they fucking go online and then they fucking compare, and then you do this or that guy's killing it and he's got a ton of money and I can't do that. Such horseshit. Like, take action. I don't give a shit what it is. Take action. I get pissed off because there's so many guys that are fucking beta males and they just go, dude, step it the fuck up. Sorry.
No,
I
listen, that's what I'm going to name this episode is stop selling out, take action. I mean,
please.
that right there, as dads, number one, being who we are, prioritized in the family role and in the situation that we are bred, which is what we are bred to be: leaders, providers, warriors, the go-getters. Again, you wrapped it up in two phrases: stop selling out, take action. I love it. I love every bit of it. I think that right there stamps every bit of what the dad connection is about. Is being dads where we can come together, say, hey, listen, here's where I'm at. I'm struggling a little bit with it. Another dad comes along and be like, hey, listen, man, I was there. Don't sell out to the negativity. Keep taking action on the positive. If you need me, call me, email me,
Absolutely.
text me, ring the phone. Like we've kept up over the years through text, through correspondence, social media. That's what this is all about. And this is where the dad connection is going to go. This is a landing spot for dads to come in of all walks of life, different areas, age groups, kids younger, older, getting ready to be dads, been dads for a long time, maybe hitting the grandpa levels. I don't care. We all struggle with the same things, and in different areas. But I love what you said. Stop selling out. Take action. I think that right
We've
there to
all
me.
we-
I'm
we've
printing.
all
I'm
done
gonna,
it.
I'm gonna put it on the wall right above my monitor.
Yeah. I with this with your group and as it grows, if I could give one request out of this whole thing as more dads come into this group, since we're all relatively the same, but yet we think our problems are real unique, they're really
Sure,
not.
sure.
Okay. Number one. So, you're not weird because we're all weird, which,
We're all
you
weird,
know, thinking we're abnormal makes us completely normal and
right?
so come in literally wanting to contribute though. When you get into a spirit of contribution, regardless of how you feel, do you remember I don't know if you remember Steve Murray, he's a pastor. He was good friends with Ronnie, but he talked
Yeah,
about this why spiral about you can why yourself literally to death, but if you change that
absolutely.
why to
I
a
remember
what,
that. Hmm.
man, just what can I do to bring to this group with the little means that I have? Anything, a little bit of love, a little bit of support, whatever it is, just build off that. And that's what this network needs to be about is like one guy just throwing one little nugget in there. Be a speck of gold dust or it can be a big old rock. Doesn't matter. Just
Absolutely.
contribute.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Well, Adam, I appreciate it, man. I know you got things to do, and I always much love from the East Coast going out. I love what you guys
Thank
are
you.
doing. It's been a while, so eventually, at some point, we got to cross paths. I got to come out there, see what it's about. You got to come over this way. I'll take you down south to the beaches, show you what it's all about there. How's that sound?
Sounds wonderful, brother. Great, really good to see you. You look great. You look better than I actually saw you in person a couple years ago. So keep it up.
I paid him to say that. I just want everybody to know that.
All good,
I
brother.